Good morning. Thank you for making it for the first event of the day. That's fantastic. My name is Fred. I'll be hosting this panel featuring two people that I'm sure you're very excited to see. Do you want me to just bring them both out right now? Ryan Robbins, AJ Buckley, everybody.
It's my microphone stand. If I was like a leprechaun, this would work. How you guys doing? All right, man, yeah. Hungover people? I heard the party was pretty crazy. Did you guys go to that party last night? Yeah? I'm bummed we couldn't be there. We both had this spandex outfit we were going to wear. Super tight, see-through spandex.
It was like a onesie for two people.
Yep. Glue, prosthetics.
Yeah, that's something else. Next year.
And he threw his back out so he couldn't do it.
I know. Just a true fact.
How many people are got that donair lump in the bottom of your stomach right now? I had like a 4-pound donair from King of Donair last night. I walked in with $20 and I was like, how much donair does this get me?
It actually does make your stomach feel a little weird, right?
Oh, dude, I'm full. Like, it's a lump right there. It's going to happen later today. I know.
Remember I said when I left yesterday, the first donair I had was here, and I ate it, and then
Yeah.
when we're driving home, I'm like, I don't feel so good. I got to lay down. I got like the sweats.
I got to abandon the rest of the day.
Totally shit my pants for sure.
So let's talk about Pure first. We're gonna. By the way, you guys, if you got questions, anything you want to ask, we've got microphones in the aisles there. Go up there as we go along. I'll point you. We'll talk. It'll be great. Anything you want to know, this is your opportunity. All right.
Nothing's off limits.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
Well,
Nothing.
Let's talk.
Open floor. Anything you want to know about Ryan, I will tell you.
the worst part is he knows.
Look, okay. Can we talk about Pure before you get to your question? Yes. Okay, good. Perfect. So I thought you guys were starting to film Pure later this month because I was reading on CBC's website that, it starts filming mid-November, but you guys have been out here filming since August.
Yeah, we got here August 21st. You were August 22nd. Yeah, we were the first to hit the ground here.
So does the story take place in Nova Scotia? Is it a Canadian story? I know it's like drug trafficking through Mennonite community and all that, but is it right here in Nova Scotia?
It takes place in Ontario. It's a fictional town called Antioch, Ontario, and also Mexico. We've spent the last 2 weeks trying to make Nova Scotia into Mexico. I so wish I was joking about that.
I actually, when I read the script, I was like, "Oh man, we're gonna get to go to Mexico. It's gonna be so fun. Probably in some all-inclusive. We're gonna have Coronas. Gonna hang out." And I'm like, "So when do we go to Mexico?" They're like, "We're not. We're going to this place, a rock quarry." And
we're going to a rock quarry in Hansport.
Like, that's it. Really? And like, I've never been in Mexico where you can see your breath.
We're gonna spend more money on effects to make us look warm than anything else.
They turned the Minas Basin into the Gulf of Mexico. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But the show is actually based somewhat on a true story of these Mennonites that were basically moving the biggest pipeline of methamphetamines and cocaine from Ontario down to Mexico.
Yeah, and there was a W5 documentary, and this guy's name was Abraham Harms, but what appropriate name. And no one would expect, horse and buggy, very religious colony to be smuggling drugs, and there they were, and that's where it all started. So we're exploring that. I play a Mennonite pastor who sort of gets inadvertently caught up in this drug trade, and AJ plays my high school nemesis.
Bronco Novak.
Bronco.
He's totally like this the whole series. What's up, Noah? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I'm an old football star. That's right. Check out my package.
Number seven.
Yeah,
number 7.
He's the biggest douchebag you've ever met. He literally is a guy that I used to get bullied by, and I was like, I know this guy. He's gonna have a handlebar mustache, and he's gonna be that guy that bullied me that I went to my high school reunion, and he's such a loser now. Yeah.
It worked out great because it's us, and my character is super super pious, very stoic, very still, and our characters are forced to work together to try to take down this this drug trade, this whole big crime, this Mennonite crime lord. I tell you, it would take a really great script to make me shave my beard.
Yeah.
I really miss my beard.
So when you're getting ready to do a show like this, it's a 6-part series airing on the CBC. I think it's next year it's going to be broadcast.
I think January 2nd it starts, 2nd or 7th, so very soon.
Do you start to like learn about like the nature of a closed community that's really not open to talking and things are really kept hush hush? Creates like a perfect breeding ground for this type of crime and these types of activities to go on.
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges is we speak a form of German, Low German, or Plattdeutsch it's called, which is it's not a recorded language anywhere, so you can't just Google it, you can't just go figure it out. We have to find people within the Mennonite community that are willing to teach us this language, and and find Mennonites that we can learn the accent from, and it's quite a challenge because it is a very close community, and we were very fortunate to find some people to help us out because we couldn't. It would be useless to do it without them because the German is very important because that's why the police weren't able to translate what they were hearing. Even if they planted a bug, they couldn't understand what people were saying because it was this language that no one.
It's like wind talkers.
Yeah, like no one else could speak, right? So it's like. Yeah, it was incredibly challenging, but it was.
I was the only person on set that understood them the entire time. Everything he said, I was like, you know what? I totally hear where you're coming from. I understand Plattdeutsch. It was weird. It was like they cast me because I understood Plattdeutsch. It was a weird thing. An Irish Canadian that understands Plattdeutsch.
You barely understand English.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true. I don't know how this guy did it. You'd see a monologue, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool monologue, and then in brackets, it would be like, this will be in German. And you're like, oh, shit.
Nothing
So
like delivering
sorry,
the
dude.
Lord's Prayer in a language that doesn't technically exist.
Yeah. And then there'd be like script changes the night before. And you'd be like, it's like on a set when you show up, if a writer's like, I think they should say this. And then you get like you'll get like pink pages or blue pages, and it's all color coded on as the writer changes. This poor guy, they would like literally change what he just had to learn on a language that doesn't exist. And they were like, I think you would say this. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about it. You would see him in the morning and his vein would be like popping out of his head. He's just like, don't talk to me, AJ. I'm not in the mood for your humor right now.
Do you feel like a bit of added pressure? Because the Mennonite community is like almost overlooked. Everyone, when you say Mennonite, they get this idea you mean Amish, and you're like, no, I mean Mennonite. Is there added pressure to like portray these culture and these people like accurately? Because they're not all drug dealers. This is just something that was happening on a Mennonite colony.
Absolutely, and it's a good point. I think anytime we as actors take on a role, you want to be as authentic as possible, and you want to, do that. The character justice, and you're right. Absolutely, it's very few of them are drug dealers. Like, oh, Mennonites are drug dealers. No, not at all. And this is our story is about a guy who is forced to operate within it to try to take down this operation, and it's completely fish out of water. And we do try to respect and appreciate the values of the Mennonite community. It was a fine line and a fun challenge, but I think people are going to really dig it. For sure.
I wanted to respect and portray douchebag high school bully.
Yeah, I was going to ask you
for
about
sure.
that.
I just wanted to commit to that. I just wanted to Facebook all the old high school buddies of mine who are now, not looking so good.
These
Should
couches
introduce you
are
to this
weird,
guy,
huh?
Steve Marquez, who ruined high school for me, like the worst guy.
I know,
ever.
right? There's always that one
Yeah.
guy that you're like, oh my God.
And you've got your friend Jolene Cusack, you wiener.
Yeah.
And you're like, he's such a jerk. He's always been nice to me. Of course, he's always been nice to you. That's
Fred,
his
do you want
MO.
this couch? You want to lie down?
But I
We
need
can
a
talk
hug
about this some
later.
more, buddy. We lie down and talk about Jolene. This couch, by the way, is I feel like we're like I'm really reclined.
Relax.
the specific lumbar support coach because
Yeah.
you were
I
talking
don't
about
know
your
if there's
back
any
hurting.
support.
It's
This
the
is
Sunday
a really
morning-
soft couch.
Sunday morning kind of hungover couch. Oh, this is perfect. Turn on the TV. Wait, what do you want to watch, right?
I'm gonna sit up. There we go.
Yeah, feel better? Do you want another pillow?
You young lady.
Hi, this is a question for AJ.
Hello.
So on the set of Supernatural, it's been said that there's pranks.
Yeah,
You
a lot of
wanna-
pranks.
You want to can tell?
Man, there was Jared and Jensen, there was Man, there's so many good ones. So I think one of the best ones I think was when Misha was about to direct, and we were doing the episode just prior to that, and Jared and Jensen were like, we gotta figure out something, and we're in this like little actors warm up tent, and they're like, we gotta do something funny with them, blah 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 blah. Couldn't quite figure it out, and Travis, they left to go do their scene, and Travis went to sit in his director's chair, the cast chair, and the seat kind of like collapsed. And prior to that, when we were talking to Jared, he was like slapping these two things on his lap. He's like, we got to figure out something to get Misha. We got to figure out something to get Misha. So Travis sits in this chair. The chair collapses. And Travis is like, oh, dude, you know what? I gotta tell Jared and Jensen, you like rig the chair so when Misha sits in his director's chair, it falls apart. He's like, yeah. So he runs up to Jared. He's like, hey man. He's like, so I got an idea. Like when Misha comes to set, you rig the chair so it falls apart. Cause I was in the actor's tent and I sat down and the chair totally collapsed. I just got this idea. And he's like, oh really? Why did it collapse? He's like, I don't know. He's like, was it missing these? So, and so those guys are like, I mean, literally, you would be on coverage and something like that, and they'll just like Charlie horse you, or they're for our characters showing up in the show, because when the Ghostfacers show up, we completely take over the show. Like it becomes about the Ghostfacers, and it's in Ed and Harry's mind, they're the better hunters. Jared and Jensen are douche nozzles, and we have no respect for them. We're the real hunters. These guys are posers. They're just good looking, and we're gritty and raw, and so it's this constant battle. But so for them to allow us to come to their set, I mean, we've all been on sets where number one and number two are very like, this is my show, and you need to check yourself. So we come in, we're kind of a force to reckon with, and they just let us kind of have fun. It's salt of the earth guys, and the success of the show is because how generous and committed they are to the crew, to you guys as fans. Everything that they do with their foundations and stuff is so genuine. It's something that they really care about, and I just feel lucky that I get to be a little cog in that big supernatural wheel.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question for Ryan. What drew you to the role of Henry on Sanctuary, and I guess how much did you know about the character when you took that role?
Martin Wood. I was doing Stargate Atlantis, and I was supposed to die. I was supposed to do 2 episodes and get killed. And Martin said, I like you, kid. I'm not going to kill you. Keep you around for a little while. And then I was supposed to get shot through the gate. And some poor guy, who I'm convinced, by the way, was Corey Monteith, because Corey was on that episode with me, got shot through the gate and went on to fame and fortune and Glee. I miss him. I love Corey. Anyway, so then I knew Amanda socially. We'd always talked about trying to work together. We hadn't worked together. The Sanctuary started as a web series, and I get this call. Martin had gone to Damien Kindler and said, hey, I know who should play Henry Foster, Ryan Robbins. He'd be great. Damien had only ever seen me do serious stuff and, in Stargate and other stuff. And he's like, well, that guy, he's way too serious. Way too smart. He goes, no. Trust me, he's a total weirdo. He's perfect. Like, all right. And then, they called me up and said, do you want to come do this? And I jokingly said, yeah, can I be a werewolf? And they said, we'll see. And we saw. But we don't use the W word on that show.
So when you guys are getting approached to be parts of these shows, like I look at your resume and there's like both of you, these constant shows with these amazing fan communities. And I'm always wondering, like, are you worried when you're joining these shows that you could get typecast in that role? Or are you just excited to be part of something that everybody loves so much? I've always wondered that, like, because you look at a guy like Burt Ward, I mean, Burt Ward, what are you going to go do Hamlet now? We all know who you are. Like, are you worried about, like, something like that ever happening?
I've been really fortunate. I mean, and the climate has changed for us as well. There's just so many more opportunities, and there's so much out there.
Because we've gotten sexier, that's why.
Getting
Climate
old.
of sexy is showing up.
But I've been really lucky. I mean, if you look at the characters I play, I really consciously try not to play the same character twice as much as possible. And I've played loads of bad guys. I've played good guys. I've played, you know, I mean, I remember one season of Sanctuary on hiatus. I played Charles Manson. You know, like you can't really oppose Henry Foss more than playing fucking Charles Manson. And so I personally, I've been really great, and the community's been super wonderful and supportive to me, and hopefully people aren't sick of me yet.
I think for me too, there was a time in my career when I was playing Adam Ross on CSI New York, and at the same time I was playing Ed on Supernatural. So I was playing these super dorky guys, and I'm a super fanboy dorky guy. But the roles that I wanted to play, like my favorite character is John McClane from Die Hard. That's like my all-time. Just an average guy that has to do impossible. Those are the roles I've always wanted to play. So towards the end of CSI New York, when I knew it was ending, I bought some intellectual properties and wanted to produce some film. So I knew there was a character in the script that I have to gain a bunch of weight for and physically change, because I knew when that ended, I wanted to kind of erase people's minds of this. So I put on 40 pounds, did this film called Home Sweet Hell, and played this like big biker guy, grew up my beard, and it was sort of this like shedding of skin. And through that, it kind of opened all these other doors. I ended up getting Justified from that, and then Murder in the First. And so it was like this conscious thought was like, I don't want to play these lab rat, nerdy characters anymore. Not that there was anything wrong with playing that, but where I wanted to go, I consciously made. I have to physically change myself, which is so much fun as actors.
I got to tell you, man, AJ is one of the most committed actors I've worked with. What he's done for this show physically is insane. If he were to take his shirt off right now, this guy is a beast, and he just knew that was right for the. I'm telling you, you want to take your shirt? You should take your shirt off. No. You should take your shirt off. No. Come on. He decided we went out. We first got here, and we went out and we hit the town hard. And then when it was time to get down to work, AJ just he buckled straight down and went full on into this role, and he kicked ass in it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. The character starts off sort of bloated and lost and an alcoholic, and halfway through he finds his way through the case and finds his voice. So I wanted to sort of show this physical thing of this guy lost at the beginning, and at the end he gets back in shape. So it was a difference of 26 pounds over 6 weeks.
Since we've been here, since we've been shooting, he's been at the gym every day. He's shed almost 30 pounds.
Yeah.
From the start of the show to the end.
But it's fun.
But that's with our film schedule, which is insane, by the way.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, man.
It's my boy right here.
This is so nice. Feeling all good up here. What's your question, buddy?
Okay, this is a ridiculous question for Ryan, but it's been bugging me for years.
Uh-oh.
Okay, when you play Layden Redeem in Stargate Atlantis, every single time the character appears, he has a vastly different hairstyle. From curled to slick back to straightened the last time we see him. What's up with that?
Oh, it's just which version of the story to tell.
I had the same question, I'm not going to lie.
Well, one, when you're not contracted on a show and they just call you at the last minute, you look the way you look. And I was often on other shows, so I was locked into to a look. And it took place, so I mean, I did that show over the course of a couple years. So my look changed a lot. There was beard, there was no beard. And it just depended on who was doing my hair that day. Like if it was second unit, it was just a different hair person, and I didn't like my hair at first, and so I would lie and say, no, this is how they do my hair. I just knew I'd do my own hair. And then what happened with the last time? I know last time you were talking about where I had long hair and it was straight and long. I was doing a show. They called me for that episode, and the truth of it, I get asked about that episode a lot because I don't know if you guys are fans of the show. There's a part where I'm doing a scene with J-Mo and with Jason Momoa, and we're talking about like potentially working together because there's this big secret thing that's happening. And everybody's like, well, what was the big secret thing? We never know what the big secret thing is. I'm like, well, I don't fucking know. The writers didn't tell me anything. We just shot it, and that was it. But what happened was the show was under by a couple minutes. I was in town, and they called me the night before. We're like, hey, can you just come shoot a scene? We got this great idea for the scene with you and Jay. And I was like, Yeah, hell yeah, I'll come down. And I got there, and I was like, no, you're not cutting it. You are not touching my hair. And that's really, like, that's the magic ruined right there for you. But that's it. It's just that simple.
I actually liked your hair the first way. I thought it looked good.
Oh, the weird, curly, weird thing that I had? Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice. Thanks. Wait, beard or no beard?
Either.
Good answer. Very, very diplomatic.
So what happens, like you were saying you didn't want to shave your beard and stuff and you loved it so much. What happens, like, if you get a role and you have to do something with your facial hair or your hair that's just you don't do? Do you have to get prosthetics and stuff like that? Or do they go to somebody else? Because I can't grow a mustache. This is like 2 weeks. I cheated for November. This is all I got. I'm not even joking.
No, I mean, I think it depends. I think you hope they cast you first for your talent because you're right for the role, and then you figure that stuff out later. My hat's off to anybody that wears prosthetics. I can't. Like my skin goes nuts. Like Chris Heyerdahl is one of my best friends, and he does it constantly. And same with Doug. Doug Jones. I don't know how those guys do it. They're in the makeup chair. Like if I'm there at 6 a.m., they've been there since 3, which is crazy. So yeah, hats off to those guys. I hate that stuff. Man. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
I have a question for Robin Dunn.
It's my panel, AJ.
What's up,
You should
buddy?
have seen the front view, ladies. This is unbelievable. That was real stuff right there.
Sorry, that's for all Sanctuary fans and Robin Dunn. I just realized that was probably recorded. Fantastic.
Just gone viral.
I saw myself on there, and I was like, there was crack. Say no to crack, kids.
I do have a question that might also put you on the spot,
Oh,
given that this is being recorded. But what can you tell us about working with Steven Seagal?
Oh, why would you do that to me, man?
This is a great story.
Oh, you see,
You can tone it down, right?
man, this bus is heavy. Oh God. Okay, yeah. So AJ knows. So I did a show with Sensei Seagal.
Russian citizen, by the way.
Yeah,
He's now a Russian citizen. Well, that's what kind of all you got to know right there. He just like he. Oh. Yeah. He's something. He is something. He's something. I mean, it's fun because you don't really work with him much at all. You work with his double, Chris, who's awesome and super fun. And then Steven comes in for his close-ups, and then you got blink a lot, and you kind of go like, wow, you were saying those words. That's what's coming out of your mouth. That's wow. But the one thing, like, Steven Seagal is he's just an interesting human being in general. He's just a very unique person.
super artistic.
You are walking on so many eggshells right now. It's amazing.
He's a hell of a guitar player, and however old he gets and however physically his body changes, the one thing I gotta say is his
wants
his
to make
sword work
America
is
great
his sword
again.
work is legitimate. I saw him do some stuff. His martial arts is still pretty sick, and as a lifelong martial artist, it's like he just like, ah, damn it, he's still really good.
That just got the Heisman right there.
Yeah, man.
I'll throw one
Listen,
to AJ then.
when the cameras aren't rolling, I'll tell you some stuff.
Is there anyone that you've had the pleasure of working with who kind of captured your intrigue with their on-set behaviors?
Yeah, Ryan. Man, no. Oh man, yeah. There's a few. You know what the crazy thing is? I'll say this and I'll be vague. An actor that doesn't realize how lucky we are to be working in the first place and have the job that we are and just show up, hit your mark, and say, thank God I have a job, just needs to shut the fuck up and go home. It's like, just give it up. It's like, if it's that bad, go home. It's like I get excited to go to work. I get excited to work with guys like Ryan. I was a big fan of Ryan's before we even got this job, so I was pumped to show up and like, trade words with them and get deep into a character. And when you get to work with other actors that have that same thought and like get to create and be artistic and and make a living at it, doing what you love, anybody that complains, get out of here. It's like, come on. At this point in my career, too, I don't have time for you. It's like, buddy, I'll call you out. Be like, go home. Get out of here, man. This is like the greatest job in the world. We're so lucky. Shut up. You know what I mean? Like, it just is one of those things. So those people, fortunately, I haven't had a lot of those people. Tend to attract the people that are really excited about their careers. But yeah, the day that I would ever be in that position of I would just go home. I care about it too much, and I think that's what would piss me off when people. It's like, this is such a great job. I get to have this experience with you guys to shit on it is.
I think the one thing about AJ and I too is, and you know this about me because we know each other a long time now.
Yeah.
Is if we weren't sitting here, we'd be sitting there.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I've actually, San Diego Comic-Con is my favorite thing to go and like fanboy out on, freak out.
Green rooms are a trip. Well, we talk about this all the time. Green rooms are a trip for us because we're in there just be cool, man. Just be cool. like holy shit, just be cool, man. That's Patrick Stewart and Stan Lee in the same room. I'm gonna blow my mind.
Well, there's someone behind me. Thanks, guys.
Okay, see you soon, buddy. Thanks for the bus throwing under.
Hi. So you've both just had such a wealth of experiences and interesting roles, both short-term and long-term. So I'm going to ask the very generic, in a way, question of any interesting or standing out experiences for you, either positive or negative, that you could talk about.
I want to hear something about Steven Seagal. But
I would go to Supernatural. The Ghostface's experience when we got the spin-off for the web series, and which was insane. So Eric Kripke calls us up. He's like, "Hey, there's a real following for you guys. We're thinking of doing a spin-off," and we're like, "Okay." And they're like, "What do we? Because you guys have such a voice for these characters, do you guys want to write it and direct it?" And we're like, "Excuse me?" So Travis and I got to write it and direct 10 webisodes. And they shot it as sort of a backdoor pilot and sort of tested it and how it was going. But it was this real creative experience. Each webisode was 4 pages, had to have a punch to the next webisode, but it also had to have an ending. So him and I basically were just improvising and wrote these 10 episodes, got to direct it, had a whole crew, and it was this whole thing, and produced by Warner Brothers. It was the craziest thing. It was for me, for a character, Ed is probably one of my favorite characters I've ever played. But to get to be on the creative side and write and direct and be a part of something that Eric Kripke, who's a god, was like, "We love it." We'd write something, he's like, "Love it, keep going." We're like, "Holy shit. He likes our stuff." And we were literally just improvising. Like, that's how Travis and I would write. We would just improvise. And so that for sure was a career, like, wow, awesome.
What was the question? Highlights? Is that what the question basically was?
Yeah.
Yeah, easy for me. Sanctuary was a big deal for me. That was like my first big show, I think. And probably not because we're doing it, but Pure right now has been one of the greatest experiences of my career. I learned a lot from Amanda Tapping. I learned a lot from Noah Wiley on Falling Skies. Noah's still one of my great friends.
I loved him in Falling Skies. Wasn't he great in Falling Skies? He was awesome.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm wearing this is Tector's jacket.
That's the jacket.
This is Tector's jacket.
I knew it from somewhere. Like,
of course, Battlestar Galactica. That was a one-of-a-kind experience that I am so proud to be a part of. That was a show, like, I was such a fan of that show. And to be even a small part of it, I'm really proud of.
So since you said any question.
Yeah.
He said any question.
About Ryan, I'll tell you anything.
What's your most embarrassing moment ever?
Oh, I do have a good one.
Probably when I just dropped my pants right now.
This is a really embarrassing story. I can tell you if you guys want to hear it. It's probably the most embarrassing story, and it has to do with me shitting my pants. So, do you want to hear that? All right, I'll share the story. I was 12 years old. I was in karate class. White pants.
I thought we were talking about like film. Okay.
Most embarrassing experience, right? Experience ever?
It did.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about shit in my pants. Because it still scars you. So I'm in a karate class. There's this girl named Joey beside me. I've had such a crush on her. I'm a yellow belt with a stripe. Pretty badass. And I would literally be like, I'd warm up beside her, like, what's up, Joey? How you doing? I'm just kicking, doing some kicks. That day I had a bit of a stomach bug. And our sensei, he was a little nuts. Now that I look back, I would never let my kid train with a guy like this. He would lay us down. He would run across us and go like, kia, 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 on our stomachs. And we have to go, ooh, ooh, ooh. And he's like, there was impact training in case we're ever in a battle, because that's going to happen. So he would run across, and he runs across, and he runs across me. He's like, God, oh. And then he's like slow-mo turn around. You know when you fart, but you're like, ooh, that wasn't a fart. That was maybe something else. And I got to really hold on to this. Slow-mo, my little ninja friend is like, kapah, kapah. I'm like, no, Joey. I'm laying on the floor in a white gi with no underwear, because that's what ninjas do. And I'm like this. I'm like, oh no, I just shit my pants, and I don't know what to do. Thank God MC Hammer was cool the day, and I knew how to tight roll my pants. So I was like, okay, I got this. I'm totally cool. I'll tight roll my pants like this. No poo's gonna go on the floor. Crazy thing is, I have to walk off the dojo floor with my pants like this and my butt to everywhere. I'm like, going like this, holding both legs. And the dude makes me bow. He's like, you forgot to bow. And I'm like, I went in and cried. My dad came and picked me up. I had $1 quarter because we had payphones back then. I'm like, oh, Dad, come and just shit my pants in karate class. Bring some clothes. So that was my most embarrassing story. You wanted to know, I told you.
I don't think I've ever been in a panel with more ass-related content on the stage.
I tried to warn you.
It's been beautiful. It's been an experience.
There's no story for me. No.
I'm not going anywhere near that one. Okay. I just wanted to know what shows that you've done amazing things and had a huge career, going back to Dark Angel and so forth like that. Well, Ryan as well. But what have you missed out on that you really wanted to? What shows have kind of come and gone? It's like, I would have been on that show if I had only, known the director, kind of thing.
That is a great question. It's a little more general for me. I want to play a superhero, man.
Oh, yes, you should.
I auditioned for the
which
role
one,
of
obviously?
I auditioned
That's
for the
the
role of
next question.
Nightcrawler, and I obviously didn't get it, but I did well enough that they brought me in to be the reader for all of the people they were screen testing for the role of Nightcrawler. Oh, that hurt, but it was cool. It was still cool because I got to hang out. I was Dr. Manhattan for the read-through of Watchmen. And so it was me and the entire cast and crew. I'd just done a movie with Patrick Wilson. Zack Snyder has been really good to me in my career. He has cast me in every movie he has made, and I've never been able to do one because there's always been a scheduling conflict. Oh. Yeah, but he's been really good to me. But yeah, being Dr. Manhattan for a day and having everybody tell me how what a great job I did was just but Billy Crudup.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You're never going to watch
such a
Almost
huge
Famous,
fan of that.
are you?
What's that?
You're never going to watch Almost Famous, are you?
I love that movie. I'm also a big fan of Billy Crudup, and I think he's an exceptional actor. So you can't really when it's stuff like that. You what are you going to do? You're not going to complain. He's awesome.
What about you?
Yeah, really.
Star Wars for me would be what's up. I'd probably shit my pants again.
Did you actually audition for it, or did you try for anything?
Yeah, I have, but it's those ones I always. It's like, if it'll be, But the crazy thing is, it's you have to kind of as you get older in your career, and things kind of just start to present itself, and these opportunities. It's like if that had happened earlier in my career, I don't think I was ready for certain things. Didn't understand the craft enough, that platform to be put on. It's like, and as you grow in each role, I feel like you have a better understanding. You learn every time you're on set. And you're like, oh, I get this, and that's why this next role happened, because you understood that, and you take from that. So I think each one for me on my journey is happened because I kind of understand what this character is, and I can portray it the right way. So kind of just flow into it in a sense.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you both of you.
Is there, like, as I'm listening to you guys talk about all your stories and pants, I'm wondering, like, is there somebody out there in the business specifically, like, be it a producer, a director, an actor, someone that you would just love to be on set working with that person?
Oh yeah, there's a few for me for sure. I mean, before he passed away, Paul Newman was like, that was my bucket list. That was my guy. He's he's it for me. Geez, sorry. And yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. There's a handful. I mean, maybe too many to name. I could think of some directors I'd love to work with. Actors I think I'd love it. Crack it. Doing a scene with Daniel Day-Lewis. I think I just want to see what that would be like. I think.
You ever met like somebody on that level, like a Daniel Day-Lewis type guy that you're just like, it's like, oh my God, the aura. Gotta back away.
When I saw Brad Pitt, I wanted to make out with him. I was like, that dude is so hot. Oh my God, I get it. Wow, you're so beautiful. Look at you. Every light looks fantastic. You look so cool with your shades on. Oh my God, you're Brad Pitt. I literally was like, hey, how are you? Oh my God, wow, I'll totally make out with you. I'm straight, but whatever, you're Brad Pitt.
Yeah, it was Dwayne Johnson was like that. When I worked with The Rock, he was like,
just a larger than life.
He's just and just so kind, and I did a movie with John Travolta recently, which is coming out soon, called Life on the Line with our buddy Devin Sawa, and another just larger than life, but such a wonderfully kind man that you're just like, wow, how are you this cool? But you're you, and he that stuff's always amazing. When you meet people that you've admired or you realize it's a lot to do with their work ethic. Dwayne Johnson's one of the hardest working people you'll ever meet. That guy is, I don't think I've ever met a harder worker on this planet. And he hustles, and he still hustles every day. And you got to respect that. John Travolta is a hard working actor, man. That guy on a film set, he works hard, and you have to respect that. And to do that at that level still, and to still maintain that level, and to still be that freaking cool and that kind to everybody, to crew, to fans, it's super admirable, man. I'm really grateful.
So I've got questions for both of you, but I'll start with AJ. So what's it like being here at the con and having the car from Supernatural here too?
Oh, that was actually Baby.
Yeah.
Baby. And Baby's in the corner, too. Nobody puts Baby in the corner. It's so crazy. You know what I mean? First of all, and I'm not just saying this here, I've said this since I've arrived here. Halifax is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And it gets to the people. The people are, in Los Angeles, people are very like, and their phones, and like everyone's very like guarded and stuff. When I first got here, I was thrown off when I'd walk down to the coffee shop. People were like, "Good morning." I was like, "Oh, who's he talking to? Me? Oh, God. Good morning." I'm like, "Oh, yeah." And now I'm that guy. I'm like, "Good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Hey, Bob. How are you? Hey, Jim. How are the kids? How's the dog? Oh, little buddy. How are you? Hey, how the kids?" Like, it's just so nice to be here. Nobody honks. It's like they wait. It's like it's so polite.
We've been talking about like investing in properties here and stuff for our kids. It's just
no, 100%.
Like, we love it here.
And the air. One of my favorite things in the morning to do is like before I go to the gym is like go outside, and we're in Dartmouth at King's Wharf there, and like you literally look at Halifax, and that you take a deep breath. The air that you guys have here, it's like you're alive. You wake up, you're like, wow, like it's the best. It's better than coffee. It's better than anything. You breathe that air, it's in Los Angeles, the air is horrible, and you'd understand when you're there. But like to breathe that air in the morning, how fresh it is, you're like, oh my, I'm awake.
We want this show to succeed so bad because we want to come back here.
Yeah, I
We
want to
just-
come back here.
We just want to
do.
keep hanging out
yeah,
here.
I would love to. have
So help
property.
us.
Yeah, my daughter, like seeing her and like having seasons up here, even like hanging out with yeah, like our family's here and like, what's it? You guys are. This is such a great city.
I went out to Windsor to our horse wrangler has a farm out there, and she just saddled up a couple of horses so my 12-year-old and I can go for a ride. We just took off, went for a ride, and I was just like, I want to live here so bad.
Yeah, and that's a genuine thing. I would move here in a second if the
Yeah,
show
the
becomes a hit,
kindness
yeah.
and the genuine. Oh,
Yeah.
You guys are amazing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
We got time for like one more question, and I know that like whenever you're involved, of course, you jump up at the very last minute. All right.
Wait, yeah, was the second? Did you want the second part of your question first? We can extend this 5 minutes, can't we?
Of course we can.
Of course we can.
Hal-Con, we're breaking rules.
They're gonna carry us out of here. What was the second part
I
of your
just
question?
wanted to ask Ryan a few questions. I'm a big fan. I've watched you in Stargate, Atlantis, and Continuum. I'm a big fan of Continuum.
Thank you.
I'm a huge fan of Falling Skies as well. And actually, I didn't realize you were in Battlestar Galactica until you just mentioned it. So I'm a big fan of that too.
I'm the only non-Cylon to play two different characters in that show.
Okay. All right.
Everybody know what I'm talking about? I was the old
Like-
man at the beginning, and then I came back as Charlie Connor later.
Okay, because to be honest, I didn't realize you were in that because I was too busy watching Edward do his thing and, watching everybody else like.
You and
Anyway.
me both, brother.
This does not sound like a question at all. I just
So
got
my
to
question-
say this.
my
We're
guy's
having
waiting
coffee
over
together
here.
right
Actually,
now.
my question is about Falling Skies. How was it like to work on that set? Because it's filmed sort of not in. It almost seems like it's not in true color because it's a lot of grays and things like that. Because it's
No, that's just Vancouver, man. I'll tell you, Falling Skies.
Because it seemed like a very dirty set because you guys were always filthy dirty.
So we
which
would shoot
fits
Falling
in with it, but-
Skies. It was exterior nights in Vancouver winters. If you've ever been to Vancouver, there's no rain towers, man. That was rain. That's Vancouver, and it was nights, and it was cold, and it was wet. We'd have sets blow away. It was so cold and so miserable, but it was so awesome because that crew and that cast. It's like you feel like you go through the trenches together. Hi, sweetheart, I hear you. It was such an incredibly wonderful experience. It's a weird thing when you're all suffering together to entertain people, how that can bring you together. And like, Noah Wiley and Will Patton. I mean, I just come on, hang out with those guys.
I love
Moonblood,
Will.
good.
Yeah.
That was my life for 3 years, and I loved every single second of it. Yeah, it was good. But that's why it looked like that. It was that's
Okay.
Vancouver nights,
Yeah,
man.
because I started watching Falling Skies right from the get-go. Like I heard about it even before.
First season was in
even,
Toronto.
even before it started broadcasting, and it was just great.
First season was Toronto, and then the rest were in Vancouver.
What's great is watching you continue to talk and this guy like just trying. Last
You
question.
were doing the same thing to me.
We're going over. Let's go.
So you've both worked in Vancouver and here in Halifax. Which coast is the best coast?
I will have to say. I like Halifax. Yeah, it's just different. Vancouver is a big city. It's very. There's a lot of people. And there's something special about the pace here that is. It takes you a beat to get used to it. You're like, oh, what's going on? And then when you kind of succumb to it, it's a nice flow. I love working in Vancouver because it's an easier commute from my family, and I'm closer to home. For LA, it's a 2-hour flight. This is like 10 hours to get here from LA. But I love this place, man. I really want to live here. I love it here.
Yeah, I grew up on Vancouver Island, so I'm a BC boy, so I'm partial to the West Coast. But as an island boy, I appreciate the pace and the people here. That's what I'm familiar with, and you don't really get that as much in Vancouver. I think Vancouver's a city very much trying to find its identity still, and this is a place that knows who it is and is proud of itself, and I admire that about this place. I really love it here.
Thank you.
AJ and Ryan, everybody, that's all
Thank
the
you.
time we got.
January
We went
2nd.
over.
Thanks so much, guys. January 2nd.
Hal-Con.